It's a new day here in the UK. It's late May bank holiday, and we're down at Hayling Island on the south coast of England for the day. Just have a look around, and later on we're going to be doing a bit of crab fishing. But right now we're just on the beach at the far end of Hayling Island, and we've had a nice lunch with some Caribbean food which came from just a random lady's house who makes nice Caribbean food and sells it to tourists. So we've had a nice time on the beach, and now we're heading down here because there's an old train at the end which we're going to jump on for a quick ride down the coast. And here we are at Hayling Railway, which is a very small railway we're about to jump onto, just there. And here we are on the train heading down the coast. We have just come to the arcades, had to go on the 2-penny shuffle, didn't do very well, and now we're going to go on some rides. Juliet's going to go buy some tokens, and we're going to jump on board. We have now got our tokens, and we're going to be heading out onto the biggest ride in the park, which is this rather rickety old roller coaster. So we've just had our roller coaster ride, which was not very scary in some ways, but incredibly violent in others. And we've decided not to go on the jungle track car thing there, and instead we're waiting to go on another roller coaster called Spinosaurus here in front of us. So we're back on the railway, but we've got another view of the roller coaster, and if I spin round, we've got the view down the railway tracks. If I do a fancy bit of camera work, I should be able to zoom in on the train coming down the tracks. So there we go, zoomed in, and here is the train on its way in. Not sure on the provenance of the train or why it's here, but it is very interesting. And about £5 each to get on, which is a little bit pricey given it's only going about a mile, but it's certainly something to do. We are now down the road a little bit at the Signer gun site, an anti-aircraft battery which defended Portsmouth in World War II. And there's not much here, but we're going to have a look around and see what we can find. So here we are. We have found the remnants of the anti-aircraft gun batteries, and there's not much left, just these sort of circles of concrete where the anti-aircraft gun would have been in the past. But it's still very nice to see some of the history here on the island. As you see, there's nothing much here anymore, but we're now going to be heading back the way we came to go do some crab fishing near a pub. We are at a different bit of the coast. We've just come off the island, which is in the distance, just over there, and we've come to this quayside, which you can see next to a pub, and we are waiting for the tide to come in just a little bit more, and we will be doing some crab fishing. There's Juliet having a Lucasade. But it's a very nice landscape here. There's a nice old mill over there and some pubs, and we're just going to wait for the tide to come in a little bit more. We have now wandered back to where we started at the quayside, and Juliet is preparing to do some crabbing. We have all of our bits, and now we need to plunge our bacon into the murky water. But we've still got this lovely view to look at. So we have had a whole hour crabbing. We've been moderately successful in that we have one which we'll show you in a bit, but Juliet's going to bring the lines in for the last time. So the first line, nothing at all. Juliet's going to bring it on board. And then we've got two other lines over here which are sort of by the quayside. We've been trialling chucking them in deep, chucking them near to the quayside. People seem to be having better luck putting them near the quayside. But here we have two with sort of nets on them. Nothing in number one. It's not looking good. One more to go. And then number two. Oh, nothing either. We have not done very well on the whole crabbing front. But Juliet, being the master that she is, has got one. We are here today at Laycock Abbey with some of Juliet's friends. We're down here near Bath, and this is a National Trust property which is very old, very nice, and they filmed some of Harry Potter. So the Abbey's there in the distance, and if I zoom in, very smooth, we'll be going there and having a look around. And here we are inside. So from what I can gather, this used to be a abbey, nunnery, convent, and some chap bought it a couple of 100 years ago and turned it into a country home. And very nice it is. And here we are, walking through a very pretty field, filled up with buttercups, interspersed with the screams of children. But very pretty, incredibly nice part of the world. As I said, we're down near Bath, very nice. Don't come down here too often unless I'm on stag do's, but only about an hour and a half from where we are. And now we have National Trust membership, we can come to all sorts of places like this. And here we are in Laycock itself, which is a very nice old village. Probably slightly ruined by tourists in peak season, but very pleasant at the moment. And apart from having the Abbey, once again the claim to fame here is it had some involvement in the Harry Potter films. So, yep, very popular with people wanting to come and look at Harry Potter related things. Otherwise, very nice place to walk around, lots of pubs and lots of places to get tea. It's a new day here in the UK, and it is late June, and we are in High Wycombe at Abingdon National Trust property. We are making good use of our National Trust card, and we're going to see what we find here. It looks like it's an old country house from the internet, but we've not got that yet, and when we do, we're going to have a look around and see what we find. And here we are in the very nice walled garden. We have learnt in the gift shop that they used to make maps here in World War II for the British Bomber Command. Maybe we'll find out more about that in the main house. But for now, we're having a nice look around this very pretty garden. And I'm thinking about what Juliet and I are going to put in our garden, which is slowly dying with all the sun we're having at the moment. We're still in the garden, and we have found this tunnel of willow, maybe? I don't know. Oh look, there's Juliet. And we have another bit up here with some toadstools. We have now reached the country house, and most National Trust properties now have a second-hand bookshop, which is here. And I've been in, got very excited and bought 5 books, had to run back to the gift shop to pay for them, and now we got to the country house. We've got a very grumpy Juliet hanging around outside who's had to wait for me for some time, but I've got some really good books in the shop. So we are now in the house, and we've had a nice lesson about how they used the hall as a map making place in World War II. It's quite amazing. They only realised that it was used like that about 15 years ago when they overheard a chap talking about it who had come to visit. So that's very interesting, and now we're just walking around the house, seeing what we can find. So we are here on the other side of the house, and we have the grand old house here, and spinning round we have another bit of the lovely gardens here, and it's quite nice. Everyone's having picnics. We're not, because we're going to Marlow after this, but it's very nice to walk around, as I've said several times before. So the final video of the day is here at the Coach at Marlow, where we've just had a very nice lunch. And what's interesting about this restaurant is it is, as it shows right there, Michelin starred. So we had a nice lunch, and it was very good fun. And now we are leaving Marlow through this rather horrible traffic jam, and tomorrow it's going to rain, so we're going to hang around at home all day. It's a new day here in Maidenhead, and we are today at the Lions event raffle thing on Bolter's Lock Island, and having a nice time looking at all the stalls and not winning anything on any of the tombolas. It's a new day here in the UK, and Juliet and I are in Abingdon, which is a historic town near Oxford. Apparently one of the oldest inhabited settlements in the UK, according to one of my mates. And we were here this weekend for a wedding party, which was very good fun. Got a little bit too drunk, but I'm not feeling too bad today. And we're now going to head into Abingdon and have a quick look around, because we didn't spend much time in Abingdon other than go to the pub yesterday. So this is the centre of Abingdon, and it's nothing too amazing, but very pretty, very old English town-esque. And we're going to wander around here for a bit, see what we find, and then head down to the river. And here we are, looking at a bit of Abbey, which Abingdon was named after. So in, I don't know, 600 AD, something like that, an abbey was built on this site. And it was here for quite a long time until Henry VIII got rid of it when he formed the Church of England. But there's just this little bit of a ruined garden here now. And I would say Abingdon is a very nice place to come and visit, although there's not a great deal to do. It's a new day here in the UK, and Juliet and I have gone to Clivedon, which is the National Trust property near us. Now, the weather's quite grey, even though it is mid-July, so we're not actually going to do very many videos, because we'll come back here when it's sunnier and not threatening to rain. But for now, we're just going to do a little bit of a place today. Because it's so close, we don't need to do all of it in one go. But in front of me, we have a sort of lakey thing. As you can see, Japanese lake garden thing. Very nice. And if I spin round, we have the maze, apparently a very good maze, and that's where we'll be heading to right now. So we are here in the maze, and I must say it's actually quite a difficult maze. We've been walking around for a fair bit of time. It's very confusing, but we think we are now on the right track. And it's only slightly awkward when you pass people you've already seen. So we're optimistic that just round this corner we'll find the centre. Not that optimistic, Juliet says. So the centre's through there. And yay, we found the centre. Amazing. Very good maze, surprisingly tricky. And here we are at a very nice fountain. Next stop is something called the Long Walk, down over there in the trees. And here we are in a building, looking down towards a garden. The River Thames is down there. We go running along sometimes. And if I spin around, we've got this very nice building, summer house type thing, where Juliet's having a sit down. We are now a little bit further along down the hill, and we are at the amphitheatre, which is a very nice view out across the River Thames down there, and Cookham in the distance. The River Thames is quite interesting here, because it sort of splits up and goes through a series of islands. But because it's all private, we've never seen it before, so it's very nice to see it here. And if I spin round, we have some paths, and we'll be taking them back to the main area now. We're not going to go to the house today, because there is a big old house. We're going to save that for a future date. So for now, we're going to head back up the hill. So we're done for the day. We've only been here about an hour or so, but that's all we need. Because we're so local, we'll just pop back for the rest of it. But it's been a good end. We've just had a sausage roll. And I've got a book I wanted from the bookshop. But if I spin around, there's just one final thing to see, which is this old forge, which used to be used in the past here at the house. It certainly smells like a forge. It smells like my basement as well. Very interesting to see. It's a new day here in High Wycombe, and Juliet and I, and Juliet's parents, are going on a 5k run for Cancer Research UK. I'm not myself today, I've got somebody else's number, so cheating a bit, but I'm here to make up some numbers, and we're going to have a 5k run now around the park. And here we have Juliet and her mother passing the finish line. All in all, a very good race. Only problem is, as normal with these things, it's not actually the length it's supposed to be. So I had to run halfway down the park to actually do a 5k. But otherwise it was very pleasant. And to be honest, having a bit of rain actually helped cool you down. Bye.